Hello everybody, Ken Coscia here, your lead instructor and international training director for the Silva Method, as well as the founder of the new Trust Your Intuition Academy. I am so glad you're here. Welcome, because today I want to speak especially to you, those of you who have graced me, honored me with your presence in my live trainings, the Silva Life and Intuition System, what we call the immersion, and or you follow my work on YouTube, Facebook, or you're getting my videos, you're on my newsletter list. Thank you. I really appreciate that because that's support of me, my work. It helps me to get my message out there, and I appreciate all your shares and so on and so forth. So this is for you because today this is a very important message, and I'm going to do my best to keep this video short because I want to offer you some tips to help you get the absolute most out of your Silva Method practice. So what's really triggered this in me and got me thinking was because, as you know, I've been involved since 1971. Long time, that's decades. Some of you weren't even alive then when I got started. And I've worked with a couple 100,000 people, 27 different nations, let alone working with fellow instructors. And they hear repeatedly something that maybe we hear too much. I know this is great. It's the best investment ever made. I love these tools. They're awesome. But I'm not using it. Life is so busy. It's getting in the way. I've got just too much to do. I'm just too busy. Oh, my family's so demanding, and on and on. Sound familiar? Can you relate? I know, and I'm not making fun, because life can be very challenging. Life can be outright difficult at times. Let's face it, nowhere is it written that life is easy. And this is no quick fix either. But what we can do is, and what the Silva Method is a system of tools to help you take command of your life, to navigate life more gracefully, more at ease, to get more out of life, to be healthier and so on and so on. And again, I know you know that. So I want to be very direct with you, please, and take this. I mean this heartfelt. I really do. I mean this genuinely to help you. So, and I mean this very respectfully. I'm too busy. I'm not disciplined. My life, my family, is just too demanding. Come on. And that's just a list. I could say, I don't do it because the sky is blue. It's as good an excuse as any. So again, I mean to be very respectful with you, but let's face it, guys. It's time to pony up. It's time to get real. You made this investment, and truly you want the most, do you not? And it's not going to take much, although it's not a quick fix. Literally, we're talking 5 minutes a day, 10, 15 is even better. Once a day will do the trick. Twice, 3 times, whew. Right? I know you know that. So even if it was 40 years ago, people often show up in class from 40 years ago and they say, I fell off the wagon. Or 10 years ago, I just with somebody who from 2 years ago, and I'm going to respect his privacy, and he was all set to come, and now he's in the hospital, suffering from a problem that's related to stress. And we were talking on the phone a little bit when he was registering, and he said, I haven't been practicing, I haven't been using it. It was great at first. So you see where I'm going with this, guys? You say you don't have the time, but do you have the time to be in that? And now it's a shame. He can't even be here in the class, and he's going to lose all that work, and he's going to lose money from his work. He's self-employed, and he's going to be in the hospital and run up all those expenses, and let alone the pain and the suffering. And it could have more than likely been prevented. I'm not talking about a serious disease. I'm talking about something that's stress-related, from too much distress in our lives. And that's what I'm asking you to reflect on right here, right now. Because what we're talking about is motivation. And the only way you're going to be motivated is if you have a lot of value attached to it. You're saying, yes, this is important. So what are some of the goals? What are some of the reasons you told me you took the Silva training? Remember the questionnaire, the goal sheet. It's better to have a whole bunch. The more you have, the more you're going to get out of it. The more you want, the more you're going to get, because it builds desire. And you want to build desire, you got to elevate your emotions. So what I'm talking about is have your goals. And my intention for you is that you are defining your life now by a vision of the future, a vision full of hope and optimism, a vision of the future that you feel somehow, some way you can figure things out and things will be better. And not because you're sitting on your butt and doing nothing and meditating, but because you're taking action, just like you took action. Congratulations, that was such a cool thing you did. And a lot of people won't take action like you did. You're very special. You took action and you invested in the class. You attended the class. Or maybe you're just at this point doing a home study or following some videos. At least though you're what? Doing something. So you got to get in the game and do something and then make it what? A habit. And one sure way is to have value on it. So I want to read something to you that and clarify, because I can build in some of these tips to help with respect to that. This is actually something I read on Instagram, and it was by Brendan Bouchard. I just want to give the credits where they're due. Very well said. I really liked it. And what it reminds me is that there are two kinds of graduates. There are those who take the Silva program, and as much as they love it and use it, maybe they take a little bit of weight off. They stop smoking. They're sleeping better at night. They've improved their health. They've enriched their relationship, but then they do nothing more. That's it. And then months and or years go by, and they never really build on it or don't even come back and review. Did you hear me? Remember, you have a lifetime review for that small seat charge. You'll get far more out of the class when you come back and review. You can hold me to that. That is an absolute, most definite guarantee, because you'll be more open. You'll know what to expect, and you'll be more naturally here right from the beginning, rather than initially as beginners we're a little more resistant. So here's the post that he read. He said, first, it's an intention. It begins with an intention. So what's your intention, your goal, your aspiration? What is it that you want? How would you define your best self at work, at home, with your family, with your children? What's that intention? For example, one of my coach clients that I was working with, mentoring, who felt stuck, and often that's what I'm doing now. I'm only working with Silva grads, by the way. If you're interested, that'd be great. But I'm only interested in people who know the skills, because I'm building on that, and we want to work with them for 30 days, 60, 90 is usually a round number. Because often when someone's stuck, there are things that you can observe. So one of the things he was stuck with is he'd come home from work, he'd come home from traveling, and he would be exhausted and just kind of veg out on his iPhone and his social media. And he's got a wonderful, cute, adorable 4-year-old son. And he was ignoring him. So we worked on that. It didn't really take much, just a couple of sessions and things in addition to work, and helped him to break through some ceilings of improving business by 20-30%, if I remember correctly. Did the same thing with a realtor in the Chicago area, similarly. And as he broke through, he made the habit of spending more time, having more energy, using his Silva skills, which I'll go into in a moment, to enjoy his son. That was just really touched me here. So you want to think of things like that that are important to you, people like that. So it begins with an intention, then it becomes a behavior, meaning something you're doing, part of your lifestyle, just like brushing your teeth, just like getting dressed in the morning, something you do. Then the behavior becomes a habit. The only way to become a habit is repetition. So for example, what I can literally say now is you are rewiring your brain. You're retraining your brain to create new neural pathways, new, more positive habits. So it begins with firing. So you fire the neurons in your brain with your intention, with your goals, with the affirmation, the thought, the creative visualization of what it is you want, the mental rehearsal of your ideal self. That's the firing. But you wire the brain, and this is necessary, and it takes, listen close, minimum 30 days to 120 days is what the science teaches us. So it's the consistent repetition, even 30 seconds, couple of minutes a day, of day in and day out, that creates the new neural pathway so that it becomes a practice. A habit then becomes a practice. It's just something you do. It's part of your daily routine. What are some of your daily routines? Are these routines helping you? It's interesting to me how many people say, oh, I'm just too busy. But they're not too busy to watch 4 hours of TV or more, or to play video games for hours on end, or to cruise social media mindlessly. Come on. Forgive me, but get real. Get real. We need to recognize that's not going to help. I mean, I gotta kind of coach you a little bit here and push you a little bit, because those, if you look at it, you have a lot of ways you could manage your time and get this into your life. So once it becomes then a habit and it becomes a practice, it becomes then second nature. Then it becomes simply who you are. It's fully integrated and you live it, and nobody needs to tell you about it or remind you. You just do it. That's where I'm at now. But I'm going to tell you, if you've been with me in class, maybe you remember me saying this. Truth be told, when I first did the class, Memorial Day weekend, 1971, and now I'm home practice. Okay, I'm sitting by myself, right? All right, what do I do? Okay, I have to close my eyes. All right, yeah, okay, I got that. I'm sitting comfortably. Now, what do I do? I have to breathe? Okay, breathe deep. And then the numbers, what numbers? Right, because I was a worry wart. I was worrying. I used to be president of the Worries Anonymous. And then I would finally do it. Remember? You don't even have to remember what it means, the symbology, the 3-to-1 method. Eyelids closed, turn off your phone, put the answering machine on, put a sign up, let your family know, ask them not to disturb you, whatever it takes. 3 very slow, deep belly breaths as you inhale, hold it a few seconds, and then exhale. That helps produce serotonin. It's the beginning of taking control, taking command of your biology for the mind-body-spirit connection. Then as you exhale, you just think of the number or visualize the number 3 several times. On the second deep breath and exhalation, the number 2, and on the third, the number 1. Again, I know you know that. Really, that's it. So here I am, okay, fine, I'm doing it, right? But then my stomach is turning and I felt anxious. Why? Can you relate? Have you been there? That is the nervous anticipation of not knowing what to expect, and the worry of, am I doing it right? Will it be okay? Well, what's going to happen? Because it's new. You're in unfamiliar territory. So guys, this is what I mean by you got to push through that. I don't like to use the word force. I'd rather say push through it. It's almost like forcing yourself. And I'd sit there, and sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes go by, and all I felt was anxious, literally, sometimes 15. And I did not have a really good quality experience. But I did it every day. And slowly but surely, as the days went by, I don't remember exactly the timing, but within weeks or less, I began to go really deep and start nodding. And my body then started vibrating. And I'd open my eyes and I'd feel wonderful. I'd feel like $1,000,000. And I'd be wide awake and focused and energetic. And then I noticed, interestingly enough, I was getting more done. And it became, for me, it's who I am. And it's a positive addiction. And I'm absolutely, because every once in a great while, a few hours may go by and I have not used my morning ritual because I've got to run out to catch a flight or something's up. And not too often, but when that happens, I notice a big difference. I'm not as clear, I'm not as awake, I'm not as focused. And then once I do, it's like, an old friend. I want this for you if it's not true for you already. So why is this important to you? How do you elevate your emotions? When you think of your goals and you mentally rehearse using Mirror of the Mind or whatever technique you're using, and you're mentally rehearsing your best self, you want to experience it as if it's happened already. And you want to elevate your emotions. How? By the value. You're jumping for joy. Your family's hugging you. You're spending more quality time. You're coming home from work, and instead of being like this, and the couch potato, you're enjoying your spouse, you're enjoying your children, you have time and energy for your grandchildren, or you're getting more done. Get the idea? So let me ask you this. Again, I know you know this, and just because you know it doesn't mean you're doing it. As someone once said, just because it's common sense doesn't mean it's common practice, right? I notice in my life, if I'm feeling stressed, preoccupied, worried, and I haven't taken an alpha break, I am more likely to make mistakes. How about you? In the recent years, as you know, I've been learning new technologies. My passion, my joy is working with you, facilitating transformation. I believe I was born to do this work. I'm a teacher and a healer at heart. Marketing is not my forte, it is not my interest, and yet I'm learning in the present circumstances, it's become necessary. And until I develop a team, and I'm working on developing a team, I need to learn marketing strategies so I can reach out to people, whether it be email, videos, whatever it might be. So you're on my email list. Have you not gotten at least a few oops emails? I made a mistake. Oops, the link is broken. Or how about if you attended some of my teleseminars, on the telephone or on Google Hangouts when I do the master classes? Now they're cool and we're fine. But in the beginning, they were more than sometimes it's a technology glitch. But there were times when I didn't know what the heck I was doing and I couldn't figure it out, and I was in the learning curve, and I took someone's advice and said, just get in the game and do it. Well, I'm way past that. So what I found was I was what? Multitasking. I had too many things going on the computer, or I was watching a show while I was doing that. And anytime I've been multitasking, and all the research shows that it is not effective strategy, and it adds stress to your body and your brain. And truth be told, when I'm multitasking, that's when I'm more likely to make a mistake. If I'm stressed, worried, and I didn't take a measly 5 minutes, a little transition meditation, I'm more likely to make a mistake or leave something out. And then you remember it later, and sometimes it's too late, right? Again, you've been there. Can you relate? So come on, think about it. When you are stressed, worried, preoccupied, feeling overwhelmed, are you not more likely to make mistakes? Overlook something? Yeah. And when you do, that costs you time and it costs you money, right? You got to put it that way sometimes. So this is an investment of time. So if you've been to any of my master classes, or if you're one of my coach clients, or even class, I call them transition meditations, and that is when you move from one business meeting to another, when you move from one client to another, or one project, or one book you're studying, or something you're learning online, whatever it may be, or you're going from work to home, or you're going from one class to another, you're making a transition to a different activity, even though it might relate to it. You want to take a short pause. And adult learning and all the research, current research in neuropsychology shows it is the most effective, most powerful strategy, that about every hour you take a very short pause, and it can be literally 30 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes. And better yet, since you're a Silva practitioner, right? Eyelids closed, a few slow deep breaths, maybe 3-to-1 method, and just clarify, focus on your intention. What you just finished and what you're now just moving to. And that you want to have full concentration, you want to be fully focused, you want to be at your best. Simple as that. Review the 3 fingers learning strategy and apply the same principle, customize it to making these transitions. That's what that is. I'll be doing that. In fact, I'm sitting here now in Hoffman Estates, just outside of Chicago, getting ready. I had a sold-out immersion. I'm so blessed and fortunate, although now there are a few seats because some people from the East Coast who were traveling here got snowed in. My flights were canceled and rebooked and canceled. I made it. I'm here. I got in early. But unfortunately, some of you didn't make it. But you'll catch up. You'll get there to one of the upcoming classes. Anyway, get the idea? That's how you elevate your emotions. You got to put it in real terms. What's the value? What's the benefit for you? So start using those transition meditations. They're very cool. It doesn't have to be long, 20 minutes. It could be 30 seconds, a minute, 2-3 minutes. Maybe it'll be 5. And you'll also recharge yourself. You'll think more clearly. And all the research shows you'll get more done in less time. You'll be far more productive. If you've done any reading lately in the recent years, we're constantly being told about university studies showing that when business people, executives, entrepreneurs, people in life at any level, when they take power naps, alpha breaks during the day, they get more done in less time, have more energy, more vitality, sleep better. So you got to remind yourself, that's the message. I hope you find this helpful, guys. And if you do and you're resonating with it and you know a fellow graduate or practitioner of whatever modality, share it with them. It's okay. Please do. Please do. That helps me. That supports me in my work. That gives me feedback. Also, you want to make comments. Love to hear that. What more would you like to hear? And it also, more importantly, helps you getting that word out there. So thanks for watching. Until the next time, I look forward to seeing you soon. And may I just say one last thing? I'm opening up my coach clients, and if you are interested, you'd like to have a conversation, you need to apply. I'm taking some applications because not everybody's a fit. And I'm looking to work with people who really get it and want to work with the tools and want to break through some stuck habits or patterns, or want to double or maybe 20-30% increase in their business or whatever, or maybe feeling overwhelmed. So there's some really, really effective dynamic meditation strategies I've developed where I can customize them for you. And if you're resonating with that, let's set up a phone call. We'll have a little chat for a while and see if we're a fit you can apply. And if it is, we'll take it from there. So thanks again, guys. It's Ken signing off.